So I am traveling to a town called Lawrence, South Carolina, and I have a brokered opportunity that really consists of 15 miles. And while I am driving there, the thought arrested my attention. Let's put it like this: a thought came to me, and the thought that came to me is about something that a friend of mine text message. He says, "Man, you're chasing money. You're chasing money." And so that's really what this segment of the Gig Geezer is about. I have to admit, I chase money. Do you? If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, if you're a returning visitor to the Gig Geezer, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. So I'm in the Geezer 16, the box truck, and I'm thinking about how I chase money. I recall doing a Gig Geezer segment back in 2023 in which I mentioned about how I was on the chase to earn $10,000 that month, because what it enabled me to say was that I earned $10,000 for 6 consecutive months. I closed out the year. So maybe then the incentive was to be able to say that to you, my audience, than anything else. And then here's where the reality comes in. Here's where reality comes in with this conversation. I did some quick reading about chasing money, and the ultimate question when you do that is, was it worth it? What did you get out of it? The consensus is that there's nothing fulfilling that comes out of it. You do it, now what? And you know what? For me, that's a lot of things that I've done in life. I drive myself to accomplish certain things, and when I accomplish it, where some folk are like celebrating they you would think that they're celebrating with me in the moment, and it's just them celebrating, because me, I'm like, okay, I did it, and well, hell, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so then I'm looking for something else to accomplish. That's not to say that I've gone around aimlessly in life, just going from pillar to post, from place to place and all. No, I can tell you that I've really been driven with certain things in life. In recent years, of course, it has been the delivery and transport space. But I will say this: in recent years, I do ask myself, has it been worth it? I know that part of the sacrifice for me has been time, but also I've sacrificed bowling. And I've told the few people who I've run into since October 2021 that, well, it's kind of hard to commit to practicing. It's kind of hard to commit to bowling in any gigs, especially someone like me. I'm not going to put my money out there and I've not prepared myself. It's hard for me to commit to any practice schedule when you never know when money calls. So then what do I do? Interesting question, right? What do I do? I mean, it is true that in the delivery and transport space, you never know when opportunities arise. This opportunity that I'm doing, I'm in the midst of traveling to the pickup location. It just happened to come up on the load board, and I put in for it, and I got it. They wanted for the amount of money that we're talking about. I was able to get it for what I'd asked for, even though they try to lowball me by about $25. I still got it for what I'd asked for. And this one is not about Geezer talking about how he play hardball with other folk, but I will say that I did employ, I guess you say, car lot method. I gave him my number, and I Help out, and I gave them my number, and then I went quiet. I kept my mouth shut, and they moved. And that, well, maybe I could say that. Here's the thing with negotiation: the first one blinks loses. The first one blinks is going to give up money, one way or another. Either on my end, I'm giving up money that's going to be less money than I make, or they give up money, meaning that they're giving up more money. That's just the way it is. But back to the chasing conversation. I did a segment recently about the why. My saying that I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why I am doing delivery and transport. I really can't tell you. I get my best answer, even after having done that video, is that I have somewhat defaulted it. I can't say defaulted, but somehow I have somewhat found myself doing this, and I happen to have done well by most standards, of some standards, maybe many standards, in terms of money earned. And now, since 2023, I've really done, I guess, by some standards or many standards, really well. But I know that there are people who do even better than I do. The friend that I mention often, man, he does even better than I do. I mean, he's got me whooped. And then I have to tell him, well, he says that I'm chasing, but I said, well, you got the luxury to wait for money. You've got the luxury to sit and wait for your money to develop right before you. I don't have that luxury. Now, y'all say, Geezer, how the fuck can you say I don't have the luxury of money? I don't, because I don't have people calling me on a constant basis for whatever it is. I don't have brokers calling me up like I did maybe at some points in 2024. Yes, I have cash game opportunities, but it's not like I get these phone calls every week. I get these phone calls or text messages a handful of times a month, at the 5 times a month, 5 maybe 6 times a month. That's how many times I see them. Gig app opportunities. It is what it is. You get them, you don't. I missed out on the opportunity earlier today. It happened to be a gig app opportunity, and I tell you, man, I missed it by fractions of a second. That's all I can say. I missed it by fractions of a second. It was for a decent run. So by doing this brokered load may be an attempt to make up for that money that I did not make. Now, it's a shorter trip. It's a shorter trip, actually. And proportionally speaking, it's a better trip. But it's the fact that, hey, I'm out here driving again when I've already been out. I mean, I've been out for a while. I did a low board based opportunity to start today, and then I turned around and went to a catering opportunity, and then I stopped off at the store to get some items, and that's when I saw on the load board this opportunity, and I was able to book it while in Walmart, if you could believe that. Shit like that happens, man. I guess we all are in pursuit of something in life. I guess we're all in pursuit of something in life. And that's something that, whatever it is, you know. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, what is my end game with my chasing money as I have in certain situations? You know what? I want to be in a position where my money works for me, or somebody is making money for me. But I'm not there yet. I'm not even close to being there. Even though I have the Geezer 610, even though I have the van, I'm not there. Part of it is because I'm not there in terms of being willing to entrust somebody with and for that reason, I'm not even at the starting gate. I'm not even out there on the track for the post parade. I'm just back in the stables, being walked around and all. Or I'm just walking around warming up. put the jockey on hadn't even put the jockey on the horse yet. But anyway, um, I also do think about, when I do think about chasing money, sometimes what happens with chasing money, at least in the delivery and transport space, you do things that are a stretch. A stretch could be, arguably, when you drive 200 miles to a pickup location, 200 miles deadhead for a pickup. Then you drive 200 miles back and then another 240 miles to that pickup location. And then wherever you go from there, and then in the process, if that's about 450 miles trip, at least from pickup to drop off, you only get $500. That's chasing, and it's also dumb. But then again, it doesn't have to be that. You could, I guess, do like me, where I'm basically driving 60 miles, 60 miles to drive another 15 miles and make $250. That's how much I'm making for this. So yes, I'm guilty of chasing today. Some of you may say that I've chased all week. Some of you may be saying I've chased all year. And, I've got some. Do I have anything to show for it? That's a good question. That's a good question. But I'm closing in on the pickup location. And so what I'm going to do is resume this conversation. Don't know, either from the pickup location or once I've dropped off the load opportunity. And by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Okay, so we are heading to the drop-off location in Great Court. And admittedly, this was a little bit of creativity because I was under the impression that I would be able to put all 4 pallets in side by side. But these pallets are not true 48-inch wide pallets. They're actually like 49. And so that created a little bit of a problem. So what I was able to do was kind of do like on the checkerboard, put one at the far end, one up next to it, and then the last 2, we figured out that, hey, we could stack the last 2 so it wouldn't be any split trips or anything like that. And so as you see on the inset, I strapped the top one. I put in a ratchet strap for the top one so it doesn't slide or anything like that. Apparently, these are transmission parts that are being transferred to another place down the road, basically. We're talking about 15-minute trip. But going back to the conversation about, but if we were to, so let's go back to the conversation about chasing money. I'm not going to say I feel all that good about doing this. Could I have not done this? Yes. Can I benefit from it? Possibly, but I realize that I've got to do more for me, basically. Yes, I'm out here making money. Yes, I'm out here doing better than many or most. But admittedly, I've got to start taking some time out for me. I've got to take some days off, and that's something I'm not used to doing, especially over the last 5 years. The most days I've probably been off are like 4 or 5, and that was because of my going on a trip to Las Vegas back in December 2021. Other than being in the hospital or being sick for a couple of days, I've been at it. I'll take a day off here and then a day off there, but I've been at it. And so, is the chase is on, but is it worth it? I guess that's the question. Is it really worth it? And so you have to ask yourself that question as well. Is it worth it for you? Is that chase that you're on Is it going to produce what you're looking for, or are you still going to be in search of something else? So what we're going to do now is pick up from the drop-off location and wrap up this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. All right, so we are on our way back to Columbia. The entire time at that drop-off location at the transmission supplier lasted all of 20 minutes. But I tell you, man, when folk are trying to get home or finish up on the shift, they do things fast. And so what happens is that, especially like when you're dealing with someone with a forklift and you've got pallets, what you're trying to do is keep up with them by making sure that the pallets are at the end of the box for them to take out. And so I don't have any. That's a long explanation for my not having any footage, B-roll footage of the actual delivery. What I'm thinking about now is how I really need to commit to time for myself in the midst of the daily, weekly, monthly chase and grind for that money. I've often said about how it's only one of me in terms of some of these load opportunities in which I'm not going to strain my back, my arms, my legs, my hips for 2,500 pounds of porcelain tile. So that's 50 boxes of porcelain tile, and it's only paying $45. We're not doing that. But I also need to be mindful of rest. You know, I talked about the stress factor, but I need to rest. And I'm kind of being, well, folk talk about being transparent about actual earnings opportunities and so forth. Well, we don't always want to be transparent about ourselves. But in the name of transparency, I've been sorely guilty of not always getting the rest that I need. And given all the stuff that I've talked about with blood pressure and stress, rest is right up there. In fact, it should be 1A, 1B, 1C. So, if for nothing else, when I get to the Geezer compound today, I have every intention of not thinking about tomorrow. I'm going to let tomorrow take care of itself. But I'm going to say this. If you are the true enterprising type, you're always thinking about that next dollar earned. You're always thinking about that next opportunity. That's a part of the chess game of things. And so when you see an opportunity right before you, you ask yourself, is it worth it or not? And, you make your best decision. So then, again, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of chasing. My chase today earned me exactly $765. My chase a couple of days ago earned me over $1,000. So those are the type of decisions that we make. Those are the commitments that we make. At the same time, I'm saying this, but I am going to commit to it. Time for myself. Try to get some balance again. Because there's still only one of me. And while I'm still able to do these things, even in geezer status and geezerdom, I won't be able to do it if I'm not doing 1A, 1B, and 1C. So with that, that's all I have to share for this segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.